A bazillion people have asked me how to do a Jedi costume, so this is how I do mine. To make a good Jedi costume, what you're going to need is a pair of brown leather boots, calf high, make sure they don't have any buckles or anything on them. A brown t-shirt with nothing printed on it. A brown or tan pair of pants. The top half of a white karate uniform. You can get these online. If you have a martial arts supply place near you, you can get one there too. A robe. You can either make these or they're pretty cheap if you buy them online. I think I paid $20 for this one. And a couple pieces of felt or a stiff cloth that you can get in a fabric store. The part of the Jedi costume that you're going to have to make yourself are the shoulder pieces that give that wide look to their shoulders. Those are based on a Japanese piece of clothing that the samurai wore called kataginu, and you can make those yourself. They're pretty easy to make. What you're going to need is some stiff cloth, about 2 yards of it. I used felt just because it's nice and stiff and has a good solid feel to it, and it's pretty cheap if you buy it too. So what you're going to need are 2 strips of this. Cut them so they're about 8 inches wide in the center of your strip, and then what you want to do is make a cut from the center all the way to the edge to make it sort of a really narrow triangle. And that way when you put it on, the wide part is going to be on the top of your shoulder, and the narrower parts are going to go down the front and down the back. You're going to need 2 of these, one for each side. Now I bought my robe because I'm helpless with a needle and thread and I don't have a sewing machine. But if you have somebody who's handy at sewing, you can make your own robe. What you need is some light brown material, some polyester will work or cotton will work. And what you're going to do is cut 2 pieces in the shape of a big capital T, and you're going to have to make it so that it fits you, so you're going to have to play around with the measurements a little bit. But these are going to be the sleeves, so make those pretty wide. And this is going to be the body part. You're going to take 2 of these, and the front you're going to cut in half so it makes 2 pieces, and then you're going to sew them along all the seams, and that's going to give you your basic robe. And then for the hood, you're going to cut that in 2 pieces too, and this sews together along the seam here. These 2 pieces go together along the seam, and then sew the bottom part here across the top of the back of your robe, and that should work out pretty well. To put your Jedi costume on, you're going to start with your tan or brown pants and your brown t-shirt. And I actually put this on backwards so that I get a nice high neckline here in the front. Next to go on are your boots. Then goes the top half of your karate uniform. You don't want to close it all the way. You want to leave a nice gap right here on the front. The next to go on are the shoulder pieces. And the wide part goes at the top of your shoulder, and then the long parts hang down in the front and the back. And you get 1 of these on each side. The next thing to go on is going to be your wide belt, and you're going to put that on with Velcro. And you want to make sure that you pull your shoulder pieces tight so that they stay nice and stiff. Now, one problem you're going to run into with these is that they have a tendency to slide off your shoulder and fall off. So you can fix that by putting a little piece of Velcro on the top here and sticking it to the top of your karate uniform. Now your brown leather belt goes over top of your wide cloth belt. Now your clip attaches to your belt, and your lightsaber hangs from that. And now just add your robe and you're finished. You can add a little variety to your costume by changing the color of your shoulder pieces and your belt. To make a Sith costume, the pieces are all the same. The only thing that's different is that they're all black. To turn to the dark side, you want to make your shoulder pieces and your belt out of black vinyl because it gives that nice shiny leather bad boy look like Anakin Skywalker had. Instead of a Jedi robe, you're going to want a Sith cape. And the way to make that is just to take a black piece of cloth, wide enough to go around your shoulders and about 4 or 5 feet long, depending how tall you are. And then hook it at the front by taking a piece of rope, and I painted mine gold. Tie a knot in it, poke a hole in both corners here, feed the rope through one side, then through the other. The knot will stop it from going through all the way, and then tie a knot in the other side, and that'll hold it in place nice and tight.